you can take all your personal brain power and train an agent on it, especially the proprietary things. And like quants is a great example of that because it's the edges of what they're able to do, and then you add on top of that all the synthetic data and other past performance, all that stuff. Now you have like a major superpower and something that's very proprietary for your organization or for your brand or your business or whatever it may be. So one of the other areas that I know has been sort of not backwards. This has been hard from a reconciliation and financial, like it's a role, a chief financial officer role for years has been one that they're supposed to gather all this information to create business insights to help your business grow, right? Especially for mid-sized companies, larger enterprises. And, we've done a lot of discovery work in this space as well. And there's a lot of just manual reconciliation that happens in these departments. And so what does the future of a CFO look like with AI?
That's a good one. So if I can put it in terms of, less of, more of, and same of, I'd say less of Excel work, which hopefully comes as a welcome statement to a lot of the listeners. But less Excel jockeying, right? Because you're able to direct an AI agent to do that for you. The natural language commands and just asking for information. More of becoming a creator of products that give you the insights that you need, right? So like a classic traditional like product owner that you might find in technology businesses, that's what the role of CFOs is likely to become soon, is you will have opinions about the systems that give you the insights, and you'll have to step into more of that product owner mindset to translate that into the people that are building those systems that use AI. And then the things that will not change is you're laser focused on insights that help you optimize the business, right? Either top line growth or bottom line optimization. That's unlikely to change, but you get to focus on it more because you have more capacity freed up compared to the reconciliations, comparisons, double checking formulas and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the initial stages, I think I was sharing with you with Disruptive, we were trying to create a financial agent early on with the large language models. And they weren't known for being able to do great math or advanced, sophisticated math. I mean, models have changed today, but what are you seeing? Because LLMs are part of the sort of the agentic solution. Are you finding that there needs to be a lot of training on these models to get it to where it needs to be, where a CFO type can trust the model?
It's less about training. I mean, you can certainly use training depending on the types of insights, but let's take a couple of use cases, right? Let's take one around performing a calculation, and you don't have the faith in LLMs to do it because sometimes they can't count the number of R's in a strawberry or something like that, right? With the advent of agentic AI, you have systems that are capable of deciding when they should use other tools, right? A common example of this is you have an AI agent that knows when it should do a web search to go get you the latest weather versus just using something from its training data. Similar to that, especially in the CFO space, but generally for any agent that needs to do a mathematical calculation, it just needs to have a calculator tool available to it. You could write that in JavaScript for all you care, right? It's just mathematical calculations, and there's many libraries for that. But giving an agent the ability to, hey, when you need to do a calculation, go use this tool instead of trying to do it yourself, that's the big shift. What separates an agent from an LLM, there's a lot of other components, but one of the most important components is its ability to pick and choose the tools it needs to use, execute them, and then move on to the next step in its reasoning. So that's one use case that is that's kind of solved right now, right? Like doing mathematical stuff with AI in the middle is solved because you give it tooling to utilize. Another popular use case for CFOs is scenario analysis. So you may have a large model built out. Let's say it's in Excel, right? You're still dependent on Excel.
Like Excel, QuickBooks, like all,
Yeah. I mean, if it ain't broke,
stuff.
don't fix it, right? But now it used to be the case that you needed a full-time like financial analyst or someone where you could say, hey, run a scenario where our revenue spikes by 20%, but our costs stay the same or something like that. And they'd go off and they'd run the model or they'd update the values and come back to you with an answer. And then you'd say, well, now do 30%. Now the CFO could just do that by commanding an AI agent to do it. And it's able to control the Excel model to get you those analyses. And it'll also suggest analyses for you. It'll suggest scenarios for you and do all of that, in a fraction of the time that it would take a human being to do. Yeah. So all of that stuff frees up the capacity of your CFOs and CFO orgs to think about the impacts of these, prepare for these scenarios versus just doing the work of coming up with the scenarios.
Yeah.